It's Wrestling Uncensored. Can you hear me? John, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's Wrestling Uncensored. John's there. I'm here. We turned the music down. We watched all the wrestling. It's time to talk about it. And there he is. How are you?
You can see me.
I can
Good.
see you.
We're working here.
Can you see me when I do this? I don't think so.
No, it works. Don't
You
worry. You're
can't
not a fraud
see
like
me.
someone else.
That invisible guy there, Cena. I met a guy at jiu-jitsu whose first name is Cena. I was like, cool. First name is Cena. I was like, man, you know John Cena? He's not related to him in any way. Johnny, we are here to talk about all the wrestling. We are on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Kick. We're on Rumble. We're everywhere. You got the podcast. And we are here. It's Wrestling Uncensored, episode 645. We're watching AEW Rampage. And the giant Satnam Singh was just eliminated from yet another battle royal here in AEW. And there goes Jeff Hardy, eliminated by Butcher and Blade. I don't know what this battle royal is that I'm watching here on Rampage. But I know that it's come down to Brian Cage and Big Bill, who are a tag team, and Butcher and Blade, who are one of the longest running tag teams in AEW. Still yet to become tag team champions. Not featured as much as they used to be. I like the tag team of Big Bill and Brian Cage. That's a formidable tag team right there. What is this? A tag team battle royal? What are we watching here? What is the point? Do you know?
Yeah, the winner of this will get the tag team title shot after Collision. So we have FTR against Adam Cole and MJF tomorrow night. And the winner of that will face the winner of this.
Cool. So the winner of this match will be the first title defense of the new champions, MJF and Adam Cole.
Well, I don't expect the title change, but I think they'll face the FTR, more than likely.
Well, if it's FTR...
I mean, you can hope for Adam Cole and MJF. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think we need to go down that road.
Yeah, we like, I'm not saying that it has to happen. I'm just saying that, you know, they're a very popular tag team and they might want to explore that option. I think it would piss off FTR so much, though, that, I don't know, they might not be able to come back from that. I don't think they're going to give the belts to MJF and Adam Cole, but, I mean, you recognize how over they are, right?
Yeah, but I think this adds to the story of when MJF turns on Adam Cole, people will be so mad because they want that team to be together. And MJF took it away from you. So you'll hate MJF even more.
Yeah, so you think they break up tomorrow night on Collision?
Or something to that effect, where there's a miscommunication and it could lead to the eventual breakup, because we're still a couple more weeks away from All In. They don't have to break up right now, but I expect either All In or All Out, MJF versus Adam Cole, I think is going to be a match for the title.
Yeah, well, didn't MJF on Dynamite this week say that he would defend the title against Adam Cole? He told Adam Cole, win or lose on Collision, I'm going to give you a rematch for this title. Out of friendship,
right?
He was doing it. He seemed to be just being a nice guy, them having a real moment of friendship there in their promo, and he said, yeah, I'll give you a title shot. So it does feel like they're going to do that match, right? Will it be at I'm getting confused, because All In and then All Out. It's All In is the show,
All
the
In
next
is
one.
Is
the next
Wembley.
one. Yeah, Wembley and London, big stadium show, 1 million people in the building. So that probably will have MJF and Adam Cole on that card, you think?
Right.
For the title.
Well, because All Out will be in Chicago, right?
Yes, in September. And like a week later?
Yeah, about a week or so, yeah, later. So I would imagine MJF, CM Punk, I mean, that should be the main event in Chicago, no?
That would make sense. It is a week later. I don't understand the
It's a lot.
timing of that. I don't get it. Maybe it's been explained by Tony Khan in a way that makes sense, but I don't get why you would do a gigantic stadium show a week before another pay-per-view. Is All Out even a pay-per-view? Or All In? All Out is the pay-per-view. In September 3rd in Chicago. But August 27th, that's a week before. I just looked at a calendar. It's 7 days. So,
Good to know.
yeah. Right, we were kind of unclear on this for a few weeks, and neither of us thought to look at a calendar, which kind of shows. But, now we know, John. Now we know. It's a week. It's 7 days between shows. Oh, the Butcher just got eliminated. So Brian Cage and Big Bill just won this Battle Royal, and they get a tag team title shot against the winner of MJF and Adam Cole versus FTR tomorrow night, live in Newark?
Hartford. No, they were in New York last week, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Hartford.
Hartford. Yeah, you're right. Hartford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 29th. They were in Newark last week. Live in Hartford. Then they're in Tampa for Dynamite. And next week's Collision is in Greenville, South Carolina. How about that? So we don't know what's going on for All In. No matches have been made official, but we suspect MJF and Adam Cole will wrestle each other. But even that, at this point, is kind of pretty impressive. They were able to sell so many tickets for this show that has no matches.
Well, I think it's just the idea of a big wrestling show at Wembley. It's, been forever since it's happened. So I think just the idea of that and the potential what AEW could deliver, I think it just shows you how strong the wrestling fan base is in the United Kingdom, how much they want to see a big wrestling show. And you don't really need to have huge matches like announced right away in order to sell it. I imagine they'll sell even more when they actually have a card out. So you'd think they'd have the card out a bit sooner now, but I guess they're taking their time with it, building the story.
I mean, it shows you that area is very strong for wrestling, and they could sell tickets. Huge market for pro wrestling right now. Because no matches, no wrestlers announced, like nothing official, and they sold 80,000 tickets for that stadium. It's crazy. It's huge.
I mean, I think it's fair to say it might be the best fan base for wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people argue about it, but I think it's a strong debate right there. A strong point to be made right there.
Yeah. And they really have to seek out the wrestling, too, over there. Because it's not at the same time as it is. It's not like Monday Night Raw for us comes on at 8 o'clock, and that's regular time for us. We're on the best time zone for TV. Maybe the West Coast is a little bit better, but as far as them in England for wrestling TV, it's not that easy. Middle of the night. These pay-per-views, these Raws, these SmackDowns, and then they get it on their channels, but it's, another day or like a few days later, right?
Right.
They don't get it they don't get AEW Dynamite on a Wednesday night. They don't get it live Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Do they?
They pay extra. I think they can get it live.
You can get it online.
Again, that's late. Yeah, but that's late though. You can get it right. You said it'd be like super late.
Yeah. So they have to go the extra mile, right? They have to try a lot harder to be wrestling fans. So it gets, the most dedicated of the dedicated. They love it. Why wouldn't they? A lot of great wrestlers from out there.
And I think the crazy part too is, as far as I have seen, I don't think AEW has announced any other shows in the United Kingdom. It's only that show. So they really only get one shot here at this. That's it. Like usually AEW, like if they're somewhere, they're going to be there like for the Dynamite, the Collision, maybe the Dynamite after. But for this, it's just the one night. That's it on a Sunday. Great for us in the afternoon, of course.
Is it really only one show? In
For
England,
now, I mean,
they're not doing like the Dynamite leading up to it there. They gotta be.
you would hope the Collision at least. That might be
No,
tough for some people, unless they tape the Collision.
I don't know what the Collision. I don't know what they're gonna do for Collision because the show is on 27th of August. That's a Sunday, you're saying? Yeah, yeah, that is a Sunday. So it's a Sunday afternoon here for us, Sunday night over there for them. I don't know what they're doing for the Collision because I'm looking at their
dates,
their tickets and their dates. The Rampage on the 23rd, leading into All In, is going to be in Duluth, Georgia. So they're not doing anything. Like, I would think that they would do a Rampage in Manchester or, Dynamite Rampage in Manchester leading into the show in London. Go over there and do a few shows. I'm surprised that this is their only show out there. And then they're back the next week in Chicago. And they're all week in Chicago, right? For All Out. The following week,
yeah.
They come back. They do Dynamite, Rampage taping on the Wednesday for Chicago. And then on the Saturday night, Collision is in Chicago. And then the Sunday night, All Out is in Chicago.
It's a lot. That's why you got to put Punk in the big matches there to help
all
sell
the
it.
matches.
All the matches. Yeah,
right?
Just Punk every match.
Yeah, it's the CM Punk show basically that week, right? That's crazy. What a strange wrestling company. I like it. I like AEW. It's weird, It's got its pluses and its minuses like any wrestling company would have, right? But it's fun.
Well, Collision again was the best show I saw this week, so I mean they're being consistent with that.
You like that Collision?
Dynamite could have been better. Oh, Collision's fantastic. Great show.
I did not watch Collision this week.
Well, you said you'd watch it next week, which is tomorrow.
Well, if it's on TV. Is it on TV?
Well, I can't tell you that. I'm not sure. I don't check the guides. I just know it's on TSN Plus. I get TSN Plus. So.
TSN Plus. So I got to watch it on my phone? I'm not trying to watch Collision on my phone. I got better things to do at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night than watch AEW Collision on my phone. Like, come on, man.
You're a little busy, though. Even if it airs at midnight, you're busy anyways watching UFC, so.
Yeah, that was the thing. They were airing it at midnight, so at least I could record it and watch it on Sunday. They stopped even airing it on TV.
Yeah. Well, it's out of Canada now, so I guess they stopped doing that.
Yeah, so I guess it won't be on TV anymore here. So I guess I just won't watch Collision ever again. Am I really missing
it's
much?
Quite good. If you get a chance to watch, though, because they air the whole show, like, they don't go to picture-in-picture. Like, they stay full screen the whole time, even when they're in commercial breaks. So that's fantastic. Love that.
Okay.
It should be on television, though. It obviously would help people like you for sure. Other people, too, just know that the show, it's actually airing.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people know about it.
Well, I feel like a lot of people in Canada are not watching Collision because it's not on TV. And you have to go seek it out on the app. Like, that's a lot of work, man. It's too much work. And I'm just looking right now on my guide for tomorrow night on the TV. No Collision. No replay at midnight. No nothing.
You wouldn't watch it anyways if it's on midnight, though, but yeah.
No, but I would record it, you know what I mean, and watch it on Sunday.
Right.
Which is what I had been doing. True. I could record it, watch it on TV on Sunday, but now what? I gotta go on the app and find it to watch it. Like, because even if I'm not gonna watch it live, I gotta go on the app, find it.
Yeah.
And you can't skip through commercials on the app. They're gonna show you some stupid commercials for Bell TV or whatever. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch it on my TV. Skip through the commercials, skip through the entrances. It's not like a good app, right? We've talked about that. The app is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
It's no good. I don't like how they have Collision or Rampage. Rampage we're watching on the app now. We have a gimmick with the studio where we can kind of have it up on the TV and stuff, so it's not so bad. Because we're watching it live, it's not so bad. But I'm not watching Collision live, and then I don't want to spend 2 hours watching a show that's not live. Make me watch commercials when they go to commercial break. They make you watch the TSN commercials or whatever. Come on, man.
Again, that's why, yeah, if you don't watch it live on the app, it doesn't really work too well. I wouldn't like to do that either. But the matches have been quite good. Like that main event last week of Punk and Darby Allin, very, very good. Against Christian and Ricky Starks.
Was it actually Christian wrestling or Luchasaurus?
Christian wrestled, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I saw the promo for that because I heard Ricky Starks got a ridiculous amount of pyro, and I just wanted to see that. And I also saw that Christian did like a promo with Punk, so I wanted to see that. I watched that segment. I watched like the promo segment where they set up the match, but it wasn't clear to me in the promo segment whether or not Luchasaurus or Christian would be wrestling in the main event. And I was like, Ricky Starks and Luchasaurus against Punk and Darby, I can miss. But Christian and Ricky Starks against Punk and Darby, I would have wanted to. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'd watch that. But it's hard. It's so hard to watch. You know what I mean? It's not like hard to watch like, oh, I don't want to watch this. It's hard to watch like it's actually hard to find and get in front of my eyeballs.
That,
you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a pain in the ass. There must be like a good free streaming site. Like half of it's on YouTube anyways, right? Couldn't I just watch it on YouTube? If it's on YouTube, I'd watch it. You know, like I don't want to go through the TSN app because it's so bad. You know, you can't skip. You can't do anything. It's terrible.
Your best bet with that is just the clips AEW puts on YouTube. They put out some decently long clips, but
yeah, like the clip that I watched was the whole promo, and that was good.
The promo to wear, but the match you only get maybe 5 minutes of the match though, which is like a 20-minute match, and it's worth watching.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to watch it at some point. I'd like to see the match tomorrow with FTR and Cole and MJF. That sounds good. But I'm going to be watching UFC tomorrow. You know? And this was
I understand.
This was my thing when they started Collision. I was like, it's a UFC night.
Well, think the following week too as well.
What do you mean? What's the following week?
Well, they're going to get up against SummerSlam.
Oh, so right. SummerSlam is the following week. Well, yeah, they're screwed for that, right? Who's going to watch Collision when you could watch SummerSlam?
Well, I think they've slowly built up their audience, though. I mean, they've had consistent weeks of very good wrestling. And slowly, I think people are going to be like, well, I got to at least see what happens in that Collision. Because even you are saying it, too. It's like, maybe I missed that, but I should go back and at least watch that match because that sounds intriguing. Yeah. And even this week, you have that already as well. So as long as they keep delivering that, people will find a way to watch it.
I haven't. I'm a pretty big wrestling fan.
Not yet.
You know what I mean? Like, I like wrestling a lot, man. I watch a lot of wrestling, and I have not gone out of my way to watch it. Like, when it was easy enough to watch it, I'd watch it. But now it's like, apparently there's an app on the Fire Stick that I have where I could watch it. But, like, all right, maybe. If I can navigate the app on the Fire Stick, like, how's that going to work? It's a weak app. The TSN app is, like, not good. I wish if it was on Crave TV, right? Like, that's the one app that Bell Media actually does correctly, even though it's kind of wonky. It's not as good as Netflix or anything. But Crave TV, I watch a lot of stuff on. If it was on Crave TV, I would watch it. That's why AEW should get a deal with HBO, so they could just be on Crave TV. Because that's where I watch all my HBO shows, like Righteous Gemstones. You watch Righteous Gemstones?
No, I don't watch that. Sorry.
Oh. It's good.
I imagine, but I watch enough wrestling, so it's hard to add more things to watch.
Well,
but I have to say, though,
this is the thing. It's better than... I'd bet you it's better than Collision. It's pretty damn good.
I rank Collision as
the Redeemer?
It's tough.
Big episode for the Redeemer last week. Tremendous.
Yeah, Miro was good this week. I agree.
No.
I
It's
know
a
that's not what
monster
you're
truck.
talking about. I figure that's not what you're talking about. But at
I like
first, I was like
Miro.
you. I was dreading. Yeah, Miro was good.
Yeah.
But I was dreading the fact of 2 hours more of wrestling. But after watching Collision the last couple of weeks, I'm like, well, this is actually is good. Like, if you could add good wrestling, I don't mind watching more wrestling. So this Collision's a fine addition, in my opinion.
I
If
feel like
anything, it was everything else that was lacking this week.
I feel like the AEW has separated their styles. Collision is like more old school NWA, kind of like what NWA wrestling, the Billy Corgan NWA was doing, a little bit more kind of old school style. A lot of the older school style wrestlers on the show as well. Whereas Dynamite is more like the indie style wrestling, a lot of hardcore matches, a lot of high flying luchador stuff. They've kind of separated, like they've almost made it like Collision is the show for the people that like AEW but also really like Jim Cornette and all his opinions on wrestling, and then Dynamite is the show for people that that Jim Cornette would hate. You know what I'm saying? Like Dynamite is the younger kind of newer style wrestling where you have to forgive some of the things that don't look right, and Collision is more kind of old school wrestling, which I think is smart to do. But that's kind of my vibe on the shows so far over the past few weeks, especially given what Dynamite was this week. It feels like that's what they're doing. And maybe that's because of the CM Punk influence, but you get Christian there too. Like, it's a more old school style wrestling program. You've got Miro, you've got Andrade, those are old school style pro wrestlers. They're not like indie guys.
Why, when you say old school, it's more just not as modern, but still like decently new wrestling. Like, it's not completely NWA style, because Billy Corgan, that was really like a throwback. This isn't so much a throwback. This is more of like, I would say early 2000s, like WWE kind of style, like more upgraded.
Mixed
like
with some FTR though. The little FTR is kind of a throwback.
Well, we had that too. We had those little bit of things where you had like Chavo Guerrero Senior. You had little things like that. Little homages like that. But I find with Dynamite, it's more, especially now recently, they're trying to put more like an ECW kind of feel, where it's more chaos and craziness, and obviously indie wrestling and a bit of comedy, but it feels like they're going for that kind of feel where it's ECW's Dynamite and Collision. Yeah, I would say WCW, but not like 80s WCW. I would say like early 90s WCW.
Mixed with a little WWF attitude. And it's a pretty good show. It's not bad. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad show. From what I've seen, it's pretty good. It's just damn hard to watch. And on a Saturday night, even if it was on TV and available here, you got competition with the UFC or SummerSlam or, neither of those things, and just watching a movie. Because sometimes, hey, man, I've watched a lot of wrestling. But it is probably the better wrestling show that anybody's putting out on a week-in, week-out basis. But honestly, WWE for me is not bad these days. Raw and SmackDown.
You liked the review this week?
I mean, It wasn't bad.
Oof, we'll talk about that, I guess.
It's pluses and minuses. I think a lot of it depends on how you feel about the Judgment Day. And I'm starting to really like the Judgment Day, so
okay.
I'm good with it.
On that.
Yeah, I like them. I like all of them. Rhea, Damian Priest, Dirty Dom. Who doesn't like Dirty Dom? The guy's filthy.
Well, I don't like starting a show with a tribute package with him. Like, that was a horrible start to the show, but
why not? He won a championship.
That's like 10 minutes.
NXT North American champion. And he beat Sami Zayn this week on Raw. Smashed him.
Well, such a weak finish, and that was insane. I don't know if you just saw what Commander just did, but that was nuts.
No, I didn't.
He just did like a springboard, like sunset flip, more like a code red almost. Like
Mm-hmm.
Commander's kind of crazy.
He's pretty good, Commander. Commander right now just beat
He won.
Kip Sabian on Rampage.
Yeah, well,
right?
makes sense.
Harold Schneider dropping a $5 super chat supporting the channel says, I have reduced my wrestling viewing during the summer. Yeah, that's probably a good call. Why not?
Enjoy the summer while it lasts, especially for us. Like, it doesn't last long.
Yeah, if you're in Canada, you got to enjoy the weather while you can. Shout out to Harold. Thank you for supporting the channel. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you want to go to become a member, or drop us a super chat like Harold did. He's the super chat leader of the night's show so far. Thank you, Harold Schneider. Shout out to Ryan, Alex, Jimmy on the chat as well. I see you guys. And Hate Machine 72 over on Rumble. Shout out to the machine. Johnny, let's since we're on the AEW stuff, I know we kind of been dipping back and forth, but while we're watching Rampage, while we're talking about Dynamite, let's kind of break down what happened on Dynamite this week and what's going on in AEW world. Dynamite 200 is coming up on Wednesday, the 200th episode of Dynamite, and they have Jon Moxley, Trent Beretta, and Pentagon in a triple threat match set for that show, which could be fun.
Well, yeah, it could be fun, but do they have to say it's an anything goes match?
Well,
like
no.
It's a triple threat match.
Well, they want you to know that Jon Moxley's going to be bleeding. He's going to be bleeding, baby, and there's going to be weird weapons involved. Maybe some sort of spiked bat or nails coming out of Moxley's pants or something, Weapons. Strange gimmick weapons. Because he's sick and twisted. Come on, man.
This is why I say it's more like ECW. They got to promote the violence when it's not necessary.
Well, not everybody knows, John. Not everybody is expecting it. Sometimes you got to really tell people, hey, there will be blood. Great movie.
I find that's actually a bunch of BS, to be honest, because if you watch AEW, it's like you have to know these people. They don't give you introductions. It's like, well, if you don't know these characters, that's your fault. But apparently match-wise, like, we have to explain this to you, and we'll have to throw in the fact that regardless, it's no DQ anyways for triple threats. It's anything goes. Like, they have to. It's the weird things that they add details to, and what they don't add details to.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
Well, nothing is, sadly.
Nothing is. Have you seen that movie, There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, I did. It was good. I like that movie.
Good. Very good. I drink your milkshake. Tremendous. That's a movie worth watching. Over watching Collision, you know what I mean? If you haven't seen that.
I saw the new Mission Impossible as well. Very good as well.
Oh.
Tom Cruise still got it. Like, still very good.
Look at you watching movies. You went to the movie theater and saw the new Mission Impossible.
Well, it was that, Barbie, or Oppenheimer, and I'm like, well, Mission Impossible for sure.
What about Sound of Freedom, John?
I don't know if that was screening at the AMC.
It's because they're scared of it.
The Cineplex now, but yeah, I don't know if they're scared of it or whatever. I guess there's some controversy about it, but the big thing was about the whole Barbie setup. Take your picture in the Barbie.
Did you do that?
Plastic. We were going to, and didn't happen.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. I was up for it, but oh well. That photo does not exist now.
I'm disappointed. I wanted to see Johnny Barbie. Ooh, that's a good wrestling name.
Well, how come your kids didn't do this yet? That seems like a great movie for your kids, no?
Barbie?
Maybe it's too early for Zozo, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, Zola doesn't care about Barbie because she's one and she's not, she hasn't been exposed to any kind of Barbie stuff. And my son is a boy. He likes wrestling toys. You know,
Oh, there's Ken. There's a guy in there. Like
I
does
don't.
guy
He's
stuff.
not familiar with Barbie at all. I don't even think he knows what Barbie is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he might kind of know it's a girl doll, but other than that, I don't think he's that familiar with the universe that there is even a Ken doll that exists. He knows Super Mario, Zelda, wrestling. He's loving wrestling these days. He's like obsessed with pro wrestling. I got him a new Roman Reigns, a new Seth Rollins, a new Rock this week, all sorts of new wrestling figures. Every day we do a different wrestling show that he books. You know who the Universal Champion is?
Roman Reigns?
Link from Zelda.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. I didn't realize he had a Link like action figure.
Yeah,
like
he's got
that.
a Link. He's got a Link and Zelda action figure, and they both wrestle, and they're both on top of the game. They beat Roman Reigns. They beat everybody. They're in a group called the Super Elite with Cody and the Bucks and Hangman and like a bunch of people. But then they face off against the Super Bloodline, which is Roman, the Usos, Umaga, The Rock.
Ganondorf.
The Rock. No, I don't have a Ganondorf figure, so there's no Ganondorf. But The Rock is in it.
Okay.
I have an Umaga, so Umaga's in it. We have the Usos. We got a brand new Roman. It's real nice. I think there's more. Seth Rollins, I think, is in Super Bloodline because he's got an association with Roman. Why not? It's a very fancy, fancy booked fed that my son is trapped me in every day. Different show. Every day.
Fantasy booking.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Well, it starts young, right? He's 6 years old. This is prime time for that. So we do a lot of that. It's fun. He loves it. Okay. So Dynamite this week. Speaking of ECW and people were supposed to know, right, John? You were like,
Mm-hmm.
They don't introduce anybody. So Jack Perry, who used to be Jungle Boy, he does an in-ring promo about beating Hook last week for the FTW title. And he says that the FTW title was created in a second-rate company filled with scumbags like these fans that are here tonight. So he's talking about ECW, right? I don't know how many people are aware of what he's talking about. I'm sure, a lot of our viewers are, but some of the younger fans might not know ECW, whatever. They might. They might know
Or
the
if
FTW.
they do, they know the WWE version.
Yeah, but the FTW title wasn't in the WWE version.
Right. So, but when people think ECW, they just think WWE thing. That's it. People get confused by that, I think.
I'm saying the lineage of the FTW title has not been really talked about much in AEW. It's a belt that kind of exists, but they don't really explain why. And the last time Taz was associated with it seems like years ago. So it's kind of hard to, even though his son was the holder for a while of the belt, which made sense because Taz had Team Taz and he gave the belt to Brian Cage, but then they kicked Brian Cage out of their group, so Ricky Starks beat Brian Cage for the FTW belt and took it back to Team Taz. But then Ricky Starks left the group, so Hook beat Ricky Starks for the FTW title, and he's held it. Right?
That's right. Yep.
But this has all happened over the course of several years now, right?
2, I think.
I mean, Team Taz, I feel like, has not been around for a while. So all of this has kind of transpired in the background of AEW, and now here's Jungle Boy who beats Hook last week for this belt, and he's like, this belt isn't really real, but I'm going to make it real, damn it, even though it was created in this garbage wrestling company, ECW. He says he's going to make the title legit, and he would have run circles around Taz and all of his dirtbag friends back in the day, too. And then an old man comes out to confront Jungle Boy. And everybody no music, and everybody in the arena goes, who's this guy? Because, and even I went, who is this guy? Because
he doesn't look the same. Yeah.
He doesn't look at all like Jerry Lynn. It was Jerry Lynn, apparently, so they say. So Excalibur had to tell me on commentary, but the live audience was like, and nobody says, hey, it's Jerry Lynn on the mic. Jerry Lynn just goes into this tirade and is like, without ECW, there'd be no Jungle Boy, and what are you doing here? And then Jungle Boy's like, well, if you keep talking and running your mouth, I'm going to kick your ass. And then Jerry Lynn's like, well, you really going to do something about it? And he drops the mic and is like, let's fight, Jungle Boy. And then Jungle Boy's like, I'm not dressed for a fight right now, but next week you could meet me in the ring. And the whole crowd was like, what? I don't know. I think most of the building didn't know who the hell that guy was. So that was a prime example of 2 points you were making, right? Them turning this show into ECW because all of a sudden there's like Jungle Boy shitting on ECW for no apparent reason, right? Which is weird.
Yep.
And B, people coming out and we're supposed to know who they are. And even for, real wrestling fans that have watched Jerry Lynn, I remember seeing pictures of Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam in like Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines before I could even see them wrestle matches. And I knew that what they were doing was next level. Like I was a Jerry Lynn fan from the mid to early 90s, and then when I saw him wrestle finally against Van Dam and all those matches, like they were incredible. But he was, a massive star in wrestling and had a long career and everything, but I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize him at all. And like, what is this? He's going to wrestle Jungle Boy next week and Hook's going to make the save after he beats up Jerry Lynn a bit or threatens to. It was weird. Why they do it?
I don't disagree with you that it was kind of off-putting, but
nobody knew who he was,
again,
right?
They thought you would know, but they figured, oh, well, you have to know kind of thing. That was the way they kind of set it up. It's like, well, it's Jerry Lynn. He's a legend, and it's like, yes, to some people, but not everyone has seen Jerry Lynn in like many, many years. And the fact that he doesn't have long hair anymore, he's not dressed like a wrestler anymore. He's just dressed as a regular guy. It doesn't like register for a lot of people. It's like, who is this guy? Just a normal whoever. Like a lot of people come, and Jerry Lynn's come out too, where security, whatever, there's a breakup, whatever. He's just one of those guys now at this point, So without a proper introduction, he's just a random whoever at this point. Sadly, you got to actually build these guys up. He doesn't have that recognizable like look. He doesn't. He's not a Hogan. He's not a Savage. He's just kind of plain looking. Sadly.
Yeah. Because like they haven't used him, we haven't seen him on TV regularly. He hasn't been introduced as Jerry Lynn,
right?
And at any point in the past year for AEW. He doesn't look like he used to when he wrestled for ECW. So when he comes out, you're like, I don't know who this guy is. And you're right. Like a guy like Hulk Hogan, you don't have to say, hey, that's Hulk Hogan. You don't have to say, hey, that's Ric Flair. Hey, that's Kurt Angle. Because they still look like they did. And also, they've stayed in the public eye enough that you know what they look like current day. Jerry Lynn, like, you don't see him. You know what Taz looks like? Like, Taz doesn't look like he did in 1997, but he still looks like Taz, and you know what he looks like because you see him every week. Jericho doesn't look like the same guy. Yeah. Like, if Jericho disappeared, right? Or even Shawn Michaels. Like, if you haven't seen Shawn Michaels for, like, 4 or 5 years, and then he showed up, you're like, without a cowboy hat on? You'd go, who's that guy? Have you seen Shawn Michaels lately without a cowboy hat on? He's barely recognizable. He doesn't look like sexy boy Shawn Michaels. If you remember Shawn Michaels from 1992 and you see him today, you wouldn't recognize him. You wouldn't. Have you seen him without the hat on with the short hair? He's like all bald. He doesn't look. He doesn't look like the same guy.
No, he's different now. A lot of guys look different now. So yeah, it kind of you need to explain that a little bit, or give them something. Like if there was like Jerry Lynn on the Titantron or something, that would have helped a little bit, But they didn't go in that direction. They're just, well, you should know this, and
Yeah.
not everyone knew that. And this isn't even a match. It's just a face to face. Like they're not actually going to wrestle though.
No.
It's just a confrontation.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
why?
weird. I don't know. They're trying to add something to this Hook Jungle Boy thing, and I'm still not that interested. What else happened? Orange Cat. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I like the idea of like, oh, he's going to take on past ECW stars. That's not a bad idea. But like, it's not what he's really doing. He's just confronting people at this point, and just people they have. Like, are they going to bring back past ECW guys for this? Like, it's a good idea if they actually go through with it. But based off this, they need to do a better job of explaining who these ECW guys were, because not everyone remembers.
Problem is they don't have any of that footage, so it's hard to do.
Well, just
right?
someone to explain it, just like a thing that says their name. Like you don't have to show like the ECW stuff because you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But just something that explains who they are. Someone Taz talking about who they are, hyping them up. Just something.
Yeah.
Not just, well, this guy coming out.
Yep. Because when he came out, it was like, well, okay, here's a man. Orange Cassidy beat AR Fox in the opener to retain the AEW International title. I thought the match was not bad. It wasn't bad. AR Fox is pretty good. They haven't done a lot with AR Fox, but they seem to be working on that. Right? AR attacked Orange Cassidy after the match.
Yeah.
Right? And then AR seemed a little bit surprised that he had even done that, and Darby Allin came out, and they showed a whole Darby Allin video package, how he was training with AR Fox, and AR Fox had invited him to live with him because Darby was living in a van, and Darby asked Orange Cassidy for this title match for AR Fox because AR had done so much for Darby in the past, and Orange, who is Darby's friend, accepted the match, and then AR attacking Orange after the match did not sit well with Darby, so Darby came out and got mad after, and then AR just kind of walked away and seemed kind of apologetic, but there would be more later on. Jon Moxley jumped Orange Cassidy after the match as well and left him laying just to throw Jon Moxley in there because they were setting up a match later on, right? A Jon Moxley match because he was wrestling the best friends in the main event. It was Moxley and Claudio in the main event against the best friends who are friends with Orange and the Lucha Bros in a triple threat.
See, again, if you're not watching Ring of Honor, you don't know the whole story here because the best friends got involved with Claudio and Wheeler, and then Orange got involved, and now this is Moxley getting revenge on Orange getting involved in that Ring of Honor business that happened. So again, if you're not watching everything, you're kind of missing the whole story here.
What?
And
why didn't they show us a video package of this? Because I didn't know any of that.
I think they showed like a 5-second clip or something that actually, like, if you weren't watching every little bit, you missed that little clip they showed of like what happened in Ring of Honor.
The show moves too fast, man. They need to slow it down.
Yeah.
They really do. Like, it sounds weird to say it, but it's like, take a breath, AEW. Like, it's almost
mainly
like
Dynamite.
It's almost like it's being run by somebody on like speed or something, you know? Because it's like it's like constant shit. Listen to Excalibur do the coming up next week. Listen to how out of breath and how frantic that is. And then compare it to how WWE presents their program. And how much easier to follow WWE is. Now, I'm not saying slow it down, dumb it down, but take a breath. You know, you could still do complicated stuff without throwing a million things against the wall every show. It's like, it's a little much sometimes. and they throw these like little here's this and here's that guy, and I'm like, who was that? And then these people, then they disappear, and then they're on Ring of Honor, and I'm supposed to pay attention to that, and then they're on Collision, and it's like, all right. And if you're not watching everything that they do, you've missed something, and they won't inform you. They won't tell you. They don't explain anything. Okay. It's not a great way to hook you into the product. It's a great way to alienate your audience. Because you get a guy like me who's wanting to watch the show, wanting to enjoy AEW, but leaves a lot of the promos halfway confused. Like, what is going on here? Who is this guy? Why are they mad at him? What? I thought they were with them, you know?
Right.
Oh, he's a bad guy? I thought he was a good guy. Whoops. And it's wrestling, man. It's not that complicated, you know? It's like, what is going on here?
Well, I think they're just trying to cram in as much as they possibly can in 2 hours. But yeah, it's too much, and it actually you lose focus of what the hell's going on because you're just all over the place with that. But I think what they're trying to do is build towards Moxley versus Orange. I think that's going to be a big match. Again, all in, all out. I think that's going to happen. And I know you're like grimacing, but it makes sense because Orange has been such a dominating champion for so long.
Yeah.
A guy like Moxley can put a threat to his title reign finally.
He's been a dominating champion against guys like AR Fox. Like, who has he really beat?
All the top mid-cards. He's beaten almost like everybody when you think about it. In terms of mid-card guys, he beat
but
Big Bill.
Big Bill, that's mid-card? That's mid-card. That's lower mid-card, man. That's low. Come on, man. Big Bill?
He's got a tag team title shot now. Like, he's actually mid-card now.
That he will definitely lose. Come on, man. No. No. Like, he has not beat anyone. Like, has he beat Hangman? Has he beat Adam Cole? Has he beat Darby?
That's main eventers, though.
Has he beat Darby?
I believe so. He wrestled Darby, but he didn't beat Darby.
Has he beat Jungle Boy? Has he beat Sammy Guevara? Has he beat like that? That's the mid card. Has he beat even Matt Hardy?
That's main eventers, actually. To be honest,
main eventers. Come on, man. The main eventers are Moxley, Kenny, Hangman, MJF, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. That's your main event.
I think you could say Darby's up there too, though.
He's upper mid card. Like, if we're doing a pyramid of AEW, like the tiers of AEW, we could do that. And, you know, maybe we disagree, but if you look at how they're booked, there's certain guys that are up here, and then there's a little lower and a little lower, but Orange Cassidy, he's the mid-card guy beating the lower mid-card guys. Beating a John Moxley would be ginormous for him, and I don't think would happen. Right. I think if it did happen, it'd be a big mistake. Big mistake.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think we're going towards that match, though. I think Moxley will beat him, but I think Orange versus Moxley is the match they're going towards.
Moxley would really raise the profile of that international championship. I don't mind seeing that. That'd be fun.
Might be the idea. I think it's also they're at the point where it's like Orange is beating pretty much everyone in the mid card, so now it's time to switch it up a bit. But if he's going to lose, he's going to lose to a big star.
Claudio had set up Trent for his Ricola powerbomb in that triple threat match to close the show on Dynamite this week. But Orange Cassidy came out, distracted Claudio. Moxley went, attacked Orange, and then Trent hit his finish on Claudio. But Claudio wasn't the legal man, and then Pentagon hit his finisher on Trent. And the
Lucha just announced the match.
And then the Lucha Brothers won. Say it again.
They just announced Tony Storm's going to face Shida on Wednesday for the title.
Because Shida just beat Nyla Rose here in this main event of Rampage, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And that's Rampage. Rampage is over. What did you think of the main event? Like, what was your favorite match on Dynamite this week? Because it wasn't
Well,
the
that was easy.
strongest. It wasn't the strongest wrestling overall.
No,
I thought
but
maybe Orange and AR Fox. I didn't love
okay,
Pac and Gravity.
I didn't love it either, but I didn't hate it. I thought for sure Darby and Swerve was the best match I saw.
Oh, was that on
Darby
Dynamite too?
again.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that was the best. Yeah, for sure. I forgot about that match. I have it here on my notes. Yeah, Darby did something. Like he took
Oh, he did
something.
a lot
What
of
is happening?
craziness.
I don't know.
We're switching to back where we are.
Whoa.
No, live coverage included. Thanks, TSN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that. Goddamn.
But yeah, Darby, he did a dive, and then Swerve gave him like a high knee. That was one thing. Then Swerve gave him like a Death Valley driver off the top on the ring apron.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
a
nuts.
bunch of stuff.
That was crazy. That Death Valley driver was disgusting. That match, yeah, that was the best match. No, you're right. Anything Darby is in is always the best. He might be the best wrestler in all of AEW. He's so much fun to watch. Every match he has is fantastic. And everything, like every time he wrestles, he does something where I go, either I've never seen that before, or I hope he's okay. Every single match. You know, and very few wrestlers, if any, in pro wrestling today, in TV wrestling, can say the same. You know? Where you have a match, and every time you have that match, you go, damn, I can't believe he did that, or whoa, I've never seen anybody do that. And that's really impressive. Darby Allin is one of the best in wrestling right now. So yeah, that match with Swerve was good, and Swerve won because AR Fox interfered and then attacked Darby after the match. Nick Wayne tried to make the save, but ate a skateboard to the face, which was kind of rough looking. And I guess Fox now put the Mogul Embassy t-shirt on, and he's with the Mogul Embassy Swerve's group now. But yeah, that match was very good. Swerve is good. I like Swerve. Swerve is a hell of a wrestler. Darby, of course. But yeah, that match of the night. I guess the wrestling wasn't so bad. I don't know. There's just like a lot of kind of downtime. But Swerve and Darby was all right. Orange and AR was all right. And the main event was not. It was all right. It wasn't great.
It was chaos, you know, but I mean, it wasn't bad. But it was just, you know, a lot of chaos back and forth. Nice to see the Lucha Brothers won that match. I wasn't expecting that. I figured it would be Moxley and Claudio, but
yeah.
Oh, Lucha Brothers win. That's nice.
Yeah, good for them. Maybe it was because the Britt Baker Taya Valkyrie match was so bad.
Well, we can talk about that because I guess that was very controversial. Like,
was it?
I've been, well, I saw a lot of people complaining about that match online, anyways. And I thought, I don't know about you, like, because I'm been very critical of Britt in terms of like, I find she's kind of peaked at one point and then just kept like standard, but that match, besides that missed spot they had, I think, right before the break, like, it wasn't that bad of a match. Like, it was actually all right.
It wasn't great.
Just take out that missed spot, though. I mean, I didn't think it was that bad.
Okay. So why was there controversy?
Well, because of that missed spot, we went right to, that was the worst time to go to a break, is like, they messed up whatever they were supposed to do and just
it looked horrible.
Oh, we're going. Yeah, it hurts a lot of the momentum what you're building towards, because you go to break like that, and you get how you're looking at the match right now or your screen right now, where you're just like, ugh,
finish was abrupt too.
The finish, I get what they were doing, and I don't know, I just their idea on that, like, I would have done it differently, but it's not a bad idea where she reverses it, brings her down, and then puts her in the submission for the win. Like, if anything, she should have did done the mandible claw thing like beforehand, lockjaw. She should have done it when she was up on her shoulders, weakened her, then get her in the arm, then lockjaw for the win.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. I mean, it's the same thing. Just Taya's big. Like, for her to go down that quickly, like, for me, it didn't make too much sense. But whatever. It's a minor thing. The finish didn't really hurt the match. It was really just that one spot that everyone's going to tear into. But I found other Brit matches were much worse than this. So this wasn't that bad. I thought Taya looked okay too in this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is too, I watched this match after everyone complained about it. After I saw all the complaints about how Britt's terrible and bad and all this.
See, I didn't see any of those complaints. I just watched the match and thought, "Oh, this was not good." Just watching it, I was like, "Ugh." I didn't complain about it. I didn't hear anybody complain about it. I didn't read any. I don't know even what you're talking about, like the controversy about it. I don't know. I don't know about any of that. All I know is I watched this match and I thought it was bad. It was
again
mess.
that blown spot. That blown spot, like,
but it's
hurts
just
it a lot.
it was slow too. It was lethargic. It was better. Like,
but like I could tell what Ty was doing, like, because they don't have a lot of they probably haven't wrestled each other that much before in the past, so
yeah,
they were kind of just like easing into a lot of things, and that's the right way to do it. Like, if you go too fast, that's how you screw up too much.
Yeah,
so
but they made stuff look so slow and fake and just bad. Like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty awful. Pac and Gravity had their match. Whatever.
It was the match, like, I don't know about you, it was just clearly because they had a bunch of jokes they wanted to make. And that's, I think, why they booked that match. That's what it seemed like. You didn't notice that commentary, like, all these jokes about how can Pac defy gravity? Like, oh, looks like he's gonna have to fall back on that one.
Was
like,
that it?
I think that's the main reason I was booked on Dynamite. Jeez. And I think they just wanted to give, because Gravity is Bandito's brother, so I think they just wanted to give Bandito's brother a shot.
Oh,
pretty much.
I like Bandito better.
Well, the thing is, like, they said his brother was originally like a soccer player. Like, wrestling wasn't his thing. Like, he fell back into wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Jericho Appreciation Society is starting to turn on Jericho. Is he joining the Don Callis family or what?
Well,
they keep teasing it.
You saw the same promo I saw. Yeah. Like, I don't know about you. Like, I thought it was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't mind Ty. Ty was all right with that. Like, getting upset with Jericho. And
Ty Conti. It's your favorite.
Ty was good.
Mm-hmm.
Ty looked good. Even Pregnant looks great.
Take it easy.
And I thought Matt Menard was good in this too. Parker as well. It was just Anna Jay. Like, that was really bad. Like, everything just seems forced, the way she says everything. It doesn't seem authentic whatsoever. I don't know, like, if that's the way she's told to do it, but it just doesn't seem like that's her talking. And if it is her talking, like, maybe don't have her talk again, because it was bad. Like, the idea that, like, we appreciate you, but you don't appreciate us. The idea is it's the Chris Jericho Appreciation Society. It's not Chris Jericho appreciates everyone else's society. Like, you kind of sound like an idiot, but whatever with that.
Yeah.
But again, like, the way she comes off all the time, it just sounds very phony the way she talks all the time. Like,
she needs to break away from that and just be with Jungle Boy. I think her and Jungle Boy would get tons of heat together. They're a real life couple. It'd be perfect. They've already talked about them being a couple. I mean, it just makes sense. It would add something to Jungle Boy too. It would help him.
I guess. Well, I don't know if it would help though, because, like, Jungle Boy's not that good himself doing promos and all that. But
with the presentation of him, with the look, like, to come out with Anna Jay, like, just them together, it would be a good. I think it would get heat.
I don't know. I feel it's a lower tier Sammy Ty thing, to be honest. Like, Sammy and Ty,
same thing.
That was real. Oh, but it was so much better with Sammy and Ty, though. Like, they had legit heat. People legit hated them. Everything they did, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
With Jungle Boy and Anna, it's more like, we just don't want to see you. It's that kind of heat. It's just don't show up anymore.
You think it's
You're
go away
annoying.
heat? It's not okay. I don't know. I feel like they could get there because if you're there and you don't want to be you don't want to see the person, they're still gonna get booed. Look at Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, and we've had to been force fed that for so many years now. It's been rough, but
Yeah,
I guess it eventually works. Sure, eventually crap tastes good. I guess you're right.
it does. It does seem like the Dominic Mysterio thing is starting to work.
Yes and no.
The group
he's
is
still
working.
got some of the worst punches in wrestling, but
maybe. All right, I'm
Nick
done
Wayne's
with
up there
AEW.
too, by the way.
Let's talk about WWE. What? Anything else AEW you want to talk about? I think that's it.
Was that it on Dynamite?
I mean,
I felt like there was more. I could be mistaken.
There was
MJF and Adam Cole had a promo, right?
Yeah, but we talked about
Your
it.
favorite part of the show.
They talked. I mean, it was all right. They talked about FTR, and then FTR did a promo about them, and it was all right. MJF said he's gonna smack Dax so hard he's gonna spit out CM Punk's jockstrap, which I thought was pretty funny. MJF had some good lines about Dax, which makes you think there's some real heat there between them, which is always fun. Whether or not it's real, I don't know. I'm not sure, which is what I like. Like I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Do Dax and MJF really hate each other? I don't know. It seems like they do, but maybe it's all a big work. It's unclear at this point. But
they sold the fight though.
Like we know everything's a work. You know what I mean? Like everything in wrestling, we know it's like, wow, they don't really hate each other, and it's like Hook and Jungle Boy don't really hate each other, right? They're gonna wrestle matches, and it's like whatever. There's no heat there. But with Dax and MJF, given the tension and given the history and how they've spoken, or especially how Dax has spoken about MJF, it makes you believe that there might be something here. I don't know, like, if there is, but at least I've got that wonder. The sense of wonder is what we want. We want to go, I wonder if they really do hate each other, because that's what pro wrestling is supposed to be. In this kind of post-kayfabe era where everybody knows how everything works and everything's a work and everybody's friends and it's all predetermined, the way you really work people is by making them think the wrestlers might deviate from the script in some way, be it verbally or physically. And that's the way you get people to believe and buy into your match and make people want to see your match, which is something that not all pro wrestlers have figured out yet, but the really good ones have. Brock Lesnar has. Brock Lesnar, I mean, sometimes, but with a lot of his opponents, you go, I don't know if he hates him, but I know he doesn't care about him. And I know he could kill him if he wanted to. And that's intriguing. That's the part where, because he adds a level of realism. It's like, well, Brock don't care. If he rips a guy's head off and walks away, who's going to do anything to him? He could do it, because Brock doesn't care about this guy. He doesn't care about Cody Rhodes, Doesn't care about any of these people. So there's an element of danger with Brock. And with Dax and MJF, there's an element of, do they really hate each other? Because if they do, and they're in the ring together, well, you pay extra close attention, because things could get interesting, So that's how you work people in 2023. Whether or not it's a work, I don't know, but that's the whole point. It could be a work. They could be great friends behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, on Twitter, in podcasts, on their wrestling shows, they hate each other. And as long as you could carry that ruse over and stay in that character, you're going to get people to buy into your matches. And that's what you want.
Well,
you want people to buy the matches. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole point.
I'm sold on this.
Exactly.
I don't know about you, that promo, the part of the promo where MJF started talking about Dax's family.
I love my wife. I love my daughter. I love this business. When he did the accent and made fun of all the things that Dax says, which was hilarious because it's true. Dax does say the same old things over and over again, and I appreciate it because I love my wife, and I love my daughter, and I love pro wrestling too, Dax. I do. But it's funny when MJF does it because he's funny. He's a funny guy. Mention the cinch.
That's where it adds. It's like, is this a work or is it not? Like, because it's like, wow, when you start getting to people's family and the way they talk and like making fun of them like that, like, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait for Saturday. It should be very good. We're only a couple hours away.
That's right, MJ. I'm Team MJF all day, every day. You know, I love that guy. Fantastic. The mention of the cinch, baby.
I'm looking forward to FTR beating the crap out of them.
How dare you? MJF, the greatest Jewish professional wrestler of all time. Suck it, Goldberg.
Well, I don't know if, Goldberg might be more popular, I think.
Although I think Dean Malenko might be Jewish. I'm not sure. And if he is, then he might hold the crown. In-ring, technical ability?
Popularity. Popularity still
Goldberg probably, yeah. MJF, though, might get there.
Maybe. We'll see if he's in that new movie, too, about the Von Erichs, so if that catches on, it might help him.
How about Brock Lesnar? He spent enough time around Paul Heyman. We're going to take him. He's honorary Jew. Just like he's honorary Canadian. He's honorary Jew. Brock Lesnar, you're with us now.
So is Roman Reigns?
That's right. Of course.
Okay, of course.
What tribe do you think he's talking about? Tribal chief, baby. The tribe, Roman Reigns. We acknowledge. Shabbat Shalom, John. Friday night, baby.
I'll acknowledge the bloodline, not so much Judgment Day. Judgment Day, to me, kind of ruins Raw, sadly.
What do you mean they ruin Raw? They run Monday Night Raw. Don't you hear the leader of the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, tell you that every week on Raw, John? Rhea Ripley's fantastic. They don't just run Raw, they run all of the WWE. Because Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom, gets introduced. Like all Judgment Day is in the ring, Rhea, Finn, Priest, and then they introduce Dom, who gets his own entrance because he won the North American title in NXT, which is great. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out, and Kevin Owens got all mad. And then Sami sets up a match with Dom for the NXT North American title. And Sami, of course, lost the match to Dirty Dom with a roll-up after a distraction from Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. Kevin Owens
ejected.
Kevin Owens, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest were all ejected from ringside during the match. And then Sami Zayn was about to win. He was about to hit the Helluva kick on Dominic, but Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest reemerged from backstage, kind of throwing Kevin Owens onto the ramp, and he was all beat up. And then Sami got distracted and got rolled up for the win for Dominic. And apparently Kevin Owens is hurt for real. Like he maybe has some broken ribs.
Well, you remember his match against Pretty Deadly, it looked like he had hurt his ankle too, so maybe he just has a bunch of injuries at this point and just he's banged up. I mean, they've been wrestling almost every week Raw, SmackDown. They do the SmackDown dark matches as well, doing the house shows, so they're wrestling probably more than anyone in WWE right now. So it's kind of not surprising.
Yeah,
they've been pushed a lot, so it sucks. It's a terrible time for that to happen. They might have to drop the tag team titles.
Yeah. I wonder what they're going to do. I don't know the severity of the injury with Kevin Owens, but apparently he is legitimately hurt, and I wouldn't expect Sami and Kevin to defend their belts at SummerSlam, which sucks for them, Big win at WrestleMania, don't even wrestle at SummerSlam. But even if Kevin wasn't hurt, I'm not sure what they would do at SummerSlam.
Well, I feel maybe they rushed the Judgment Day thing. It feels like they would have wrestled Judgment Day. more than likely, because like you would think you'd want to have Damian Priest and Dominic in a match. They don't have matches right now for SummerSlam,
That's
so
true.
it feels like that was the idea, but maybe they rushed it because they worried about the injury possibly. They wanted to get the match done, I guess, and then maybe they're going to give Kevin some time right now and see how that goes. And then if he can come back a little bit later, because who cares about defending your title in 30 days? That died a long time ago. If they want you to come back and they feel like you can come back, in a month or two, well, they'll just let you wait.
Yeah.
They got enough championships for us to wait, so it's fine.
Well,
They're the undisputed tag champs. It's kind of weird.
They'll let some people wait, but some people will get stripped of the title, like Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Because Liv and Raquel got stripped of the title, and then Ronda and Shayna won them, and then Liv and Raquel won them back like 2 months later. Not even.
And then lost them like a couple weeks
And then lost them a couple weeks after that. And then Liv got hurt again, right?
Well, that was from the past week. Remember I told you about like when they went over like the timekeepers area?
Yeah.
Apparently Liv re-aggravated the shoulder. Now, as you saw what happened on Raw, they played that angle out that she's hurt again. Which was bad, by the way. That whole angle was awful. Like, I almost stopped watching Raw because that was such a bad segment. Terrible segment.
Where Rhea Ripley beat up Liv Morgan?
Well, the whole Liv promo, awful. Terrible promo. Like, I can't stand that talking.
That's what
like
she
that.
does. Like, that's the Liv Morgan promo, talking about Raquel, and I'm going to get revenge, and I'm going to get you, Rhea Ripley, and all that. Like, that's just what she does. I wasn't offended by it. That's how she talks.
You sound more intense. She did not sound intense whatsoever. She sounds so ditzy about it, like dumb. Like, oh, whatever happens, happens. Like, it sounded terrible.
Yeah, the little
like
cutesy,
you're not a fighter.
Yeah. I like Rhea. I like Rhea's attitude better. And they were going to have a match, but Rhea just beat up Liv Morgan, put her arm in a steel chair, and stomped on it. And they said
the stomping.
She broke her arm.
That was terrible stomping. Like, stomped like the leg or the edge of the chair. Like, come on. Like, if you're going to, like, make this into an injury angle, like, make it somewhat believable. There's a focus right in on the stomp, and it's clearly on the edge of the chair. Twice.
Yeah.
Terrible. Awful. Terrible.
Take it easy on Rhea Ripley, all right? It's the
I'm
best
just telling
thing
you,
going
like, the way
today.
it was. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you like Rhea a lot, but this was bad. Like,
yeah, it wasn't great. But, it was a little angle to write off Liv Morgan for whatever, the real injury that she has. It doesn't make a difference to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a blip on the radar. It doesn't matter in the long run. This is just to hurt Liv Morgan to set up the match between Raquel and Rhea at SummerSlam. This is just to build the match.
We didn't have Raquel on the episode. Why this week?
Because Rhea attacked her the week prior, I think.
So the other people get hurt, whatever. Like, this is another thing, too. Like, Maxine went through a table last week. She's perfectly fine. Like, no injuries whatsoever. But, kick to the back of the leg. Oh, I can't be on Raw this week.
Where her knee was injured, right? Didn't she get injured and then she had to wrestle a match? Like, she had to sell a lot of stuff from last week. She got hurt and then she had to wrestle a match and then she got chop blocked in the match. She got a knee injury. That makes sense.
So much rougher than going through a table. So much rougher. Like,
a knee injury could take you out for like a year. Knees are serious. Taking a bump through a table, like you're going to get your bell rung, but you'll be all right.
Taking a bump through a table used to be a big deal. Like, now it's just like, oh, whatever, it happens.
Well, I mean, wrestling fans have seen how those tables work. You sneeze and they break. I mean, no big deal. It's like cardboard you're falling through. It kind of breaks your fall. It's no big deal. It's just fun. People like seeing people crash through the tables, but they know that the impact is not that devastating.
Well, let's just, this is the way it is. It's, you crash through a table, oh, that's nothing. A little stomp on the edge of a chair, broken arm. You're out forever. Like, it's interesting, like, what takes you out and what doesn't.
It's a vice. It's a vice, John. What are you talking about? She had her arm in a chair that acted as a vice, and she snapped that vice shut, and it broke her arm. I could buy that. That's how wrestling works. You put the head in the thing, you break the guy's head, or you decapitate him when you stop it. That's how it works.
On the leg of the chair, on the little edge
Well,
piece of the chair.
If she did it for real, John, it'd be too devastating. Okay. Becky Lynch.
As good as she should have done. Like,
Becky
come
Lynch.
On, Austin and Pillman. Come on.
Okay, you want to
know
talk?
what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I know. You could have been better in the execution of it. Fine.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark. Becky beat Zoe Stark to earn a match with Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. Trish did try to interfere in this match, but Becky managed to thwart her and boot her off the apron. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't sit right. Like, I get it. Becky wins, manhandle slam. She should beat Zoe Stark. Makes sense. But 2 weeks ago, Trish tries to interfere in the match, successfully distracts Becky Lynch. Zoe Stark rolls Becky up and beats Becky. Then last week, Becky agrees to this match with Zoe Stark to get a shot at a match with Trish Stratus. But if she had lost the match to Zoe Stark, she would have had to get "Thank you, Trish" tattooed across her chest. That was the stipulation of this match. And Becky Lynch didn't come with a plan B to stop Trish other than, I'll just kick her this time. Well, why didn't you kick her last time? I mean, what did you not expect Trish to interfere last time you wrestled Zoe Stark? Like we said last week on the show, well, Becky better have somebody in her corner or something where it makes sense, because what would give Becky the confidence knowing, well, last week I lost to Zoe Stark because Trish interfered. Couldn't Trish have interfered again and Becky could have lost to Zoe Stark again, and then she would have had "Thank you, Trish" tattooed across her chest, which isn't great. It's just the logic didn't really add up. Because if you're a fighter and you know that something has happened and you lost the match, you would not put ridiculous stakes up for the next match unless you knew that you had it in the bag. And Becky, just on sheer confidence, I guess, figured she had it in the bag. And she won, whatever, because wrestling's fake. But it didn't make a ton of sense to me. I didn't love it. And the match itself was kind of weak. It's, so...
I actually thought the match was actually decent, to be honest. I thought Zoe looked very good in this match. Hit a couple of really good springboards. Like, I was very impressed with her, actually. I thought it was a very good back and forth match. And I agree. You're completely right about the whole, like, the logic part, but the way they explain it is just, Becky's super confident, narcissist. Like, yeah, it was a fluke last time. Can't do it to me again.
That's it.
That's the logic behind that.
Becky's just ridiculously confident. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
To the level of near insanity confident.
I mean, she was kind of crazy a bit in her promo, the way she talks, so yeah. She's got a little bit of Seth in her.
Yuck. That didn't sound right.
Come on. I had to say it. It made sense.
Oh, God. Yeah. Cody Rhodes cut a promo about Brock Lesnar and I'm going to get you, and I'm real impressed with Brock Lesnar, but my mom wasn't impressed with Brock Lesnar because she saw Terry Funk throw fireballs at my dad, so whatever, no big deal, and I'm not just going to beat Brock at SummerSlam. I'm going to embarrass him. So that was Cody this week. Brock wasn't on the show. He'll be on the show Monday. Monday they're in Houston. SummerSlam is a week from tomorrow, so coming up.
Well, I thought it was a fine promo. I mean,
basic.
Cody didn't have much to work with.
That's it. It was what it was. Bronson Reed beat Tommaso the Ciampa after the tsunami splash and a distraction from Shinsuke Nakamura. They are doing this thing. They just replaced Ricochet with Ciampa. They've been running this whole, Shinsuke, Bronson Reed, and then Ricochet matches against each other, one-on-one matches where the other guy interferes. Ricochet moves on to this thing with Logan Paul, and Shinsuke now just trapped in this matrix, and now Tommaso Ciampa has joined in on the fun. It's just so dumb. Like, do they think we didn't notice that they are running the same storyline that goes nowhere? They just replaced Ricochet with Ciampa. What they started doing was with Ciampa. I was like, we're still doing this? What's Shinsuke and Bronson Reed doing here? Oh, God.
You're just stuck in this endless
It's a loop.
Doesn't get like a pay-per-view match or nothing, just over and over again. Because there's nothing else for them, I think. That's the problem.
Yep. It was just a vicious circle for Nakamura and Bronson Reed they can't get out of. Eventually, Tommaso Ciampa will move on to bigger and better things, and someone else will join in on the fun. Maybe Rick Boogs will come back, and he'll be in on that thing. Or Elias, whatever happened to him.
I think they're on SmackDown, no?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen either of them on TV for months. Are they still employed?
Last I remember, they were on SmackDown.
Are they in NXT?
But we'll wait and see. I mean, a lot of people just show up randomly on different shows, right? Dominic was on all the shows, so.
Yeah, but I have no idea where Elias went. Or Rick Boogs. Didn't they have a thing going together? And then they just both disappeared.
Well, I remember they had a match against Street Profits, and it was not very good. Or Boogs had a match against Street Profits, and it was not very good. So maybe they were like, well, you need to get more training, I think.
But Elias had been on the main roster for so long. Maybe there's an injury there.
How many starts and stops with Elias we've gotten, you know? The whole Ezekiel thing, and then that's gone, and then Elias is back, and then nothing happening. Then with Boogs, and now nothing's happening. Like, it feels like he gets moments and then gone.
Yeah.
But consistency with him is terrible.
Kind of like Ricochet, who's been thrown into this semi-big match with Logan Paul for SummerSlam out of nowhere. Ricochet's been pretty much nothing for his whole WWE career, and now he's wrestling Logan Paul. I don't know why.
Well, it's because they had that moment at the Rumble.
Right.
And Logan probably likes him and knows he can pull off some good moves, and they want to showcase Logan in a good spotlight with someone who can make him look good.
Yeah.
Ricochet can do that and give him the win as well.
Yeah.
So that's why this match is happening. That promo was awful.
Yep.
And maybe don't have Ricochet do live promos like that again. Maybe do it backstage, because he clearly got lost in that promo. Like, he had his lines and just repeated his lines over and over again a couple of times until he finally got on track. But that was tough for him. Like, clearly promos aren't his thing. Wrestling is his thing.
Yeah, he's very good in the ring, but the reason why this match at SummerSlam with Logan Paul is the high point of his career was evident by his promo skills.
Yeah.
You know, you could see why he hasn't kind of gone to the next level, because he's just not great on the microphone. And Logan Paul dropped Ricochet with a clothesline from behind and then accepted the challenge for Ricochet at SummerSlam. He also told a guy in the front row that he needed to get laid, and he was a stupid virgin.
Kind of weird for a PG show, but okay. Just a random. Felt like we were an AEW lad for
saying
a
it to a fan too. It's like, oh, look at you. You need to get laid, you stupid virgin. I was like, just saying that to a fan of WWE. They're sitting in the front row or the second row. I don't know who he was talking to exactly, but Logan Paul was not holding back. But then Ricochet got up and kicked Logan Paul and then hit a standing shooting star press on him to close out that little segment.
I have a feeling that wasn't a scripted line. I think he just kind of said that on the fly right there, more likely.
Which is fun. See, he's good on the microphone.
Yeah.
I like when Logan Paul speaks. He's good at promos.
At times. Sometimes it feels like he kind of gets lost in things a little bit, because he just talks the way he wants to talk, but that doesn't always work for wrestling.
Yeah.
Eventually you got to get your point a bit quicker and don't just drag. I find sometimes he just kind of goes off on these tangents, and it's that has nothing to do with what you're supposed to be talking about. But it's what comes to his mind. He's not natural with it yet, but He's got charisma, so it helps him a lot.
He's got that charisma though, and he can speak. Like he doesn't freeze
Yeah,
up.
he can talk. Yeah, no, he can talk. It just
better than Ricochet, better than a lot of the guys in WWE.
But again, too, with him, they don't probably script a lot of his stuff. They give him probably a guideline, and just go out and do your thing, kind of thing. So.
But nobody is as good or more the total package than Gunther. Gunther in the ring with Imperium. And Drew McIntyre came out for the promo, and Drew wants a match tonight. And Gunther says he's put prestige on the Intercontinental title and will not defend it in front of these degenerates in Tampa. Gunther says Drew McIntyre gets nothing done in life, just like the fans. He failed at Clash at the Castle, and he was humiliated by Gunther at WrestleMania, and he will be humiliated again at SummerSlam by the Ring General Gunther. And then Drew was like, well, it was a triple threat with Sheamus at WrestleMania, and you slid in and stole the win, but at SummerSlam, it's one-on-one, and I'm going to win the Intercontinental title. And then Kaiser gets on the mic, and he's like, how dare you talk to the Ring General like that? And Drew's like, I like you, Kaiser. I think you should be the leader of Imperium. And Kaiser's like, how could you say that about Imperium? And Drew's like, how about we have a match? And Kaiser's like, yeah, all right, fine. And then they had a match, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was too long. Like, it went through a commercial break, like 2 commercial breaks, if I'm not mistaken. It was like, this is too much of a mismatch. Like, Drew should have went through him a lot quicker. And, like, there's no believability in the sense that, oh, like, it's a really tough challenge for him. Like, his comeback was pretty much just beat the crap out of him. Like, there was no point where I'm like, oh, yeah, Drew's in trouble in this match.
No, but it was like a kind of hard-hitting match. I like the style of Kaiser, and I think Drew is good. Like, they hit some pretty impressive moves in that match. That, I don't know what you call it, but he did it off the top rope, I think, or the second rope.
He did Sheamus's move. He did Sheamus's white noise.
Yeah, the Celtic Cross or the white noise or whatever it's called.
That
was nasty.
Yeah, well, it's nice when, Drew's like huge and, he's with a little guy. Yeah, of course, it looks fantastic.
Whoa. Kaiser's not little. You see how big that guy is? He's tall. He's a tall guy, man. He's big, Kaiser.
Yeah, but compared to Drew?
Well, Drew is a freaking monster, but
well, I'm just saying,
it's not like he's not like Ricochet, you know what I mean? Kaiser's not a small guy. I was impressed that he was able to manhandle him like that. I thought the match was really good. I am really into this storyline. I'm really into this match, and the post-match I thought was fantastic, where Gunther German suplex Drew from behind. That German was fantastic, and then they start putting the boots to Drew, and Riddle comes out and tries to make the save. But then Gunther just power bombs him. He's like, fuck you, Riddle. Boom, power bomb. And then he hits a big boot on Drew outside the ring. Goes to power bomb Drew, but then Drew back body drops Gunther, picks Gunther up, and power bombs him through the announce table. Holy shit, man. That was awesome. That was my favorite part of Raw, by far. Gunther is usually my favorite part of Raw, but this week, especially, that table spot, that power bomb, ridiculous. I'm really hyped for that match. I'm into that match now. Drew Gunther is going to be sick at SummerSlam. It might be match of the night.
Oh, I figured that beforehand, that I was already interested in that. I felt the table spot could have been a bit better, but I don't think they were planning on the crowd reaction. And I don't think they thought about how they could have milked that better. But it still was good.
I liked it. I like Gunther. I like everything Big Gunther's doing. What else happened? Damian Priest beat Apollo Crews.
It was kind of like, okay, it happened, yeah.
Yep. And the main event was a contract signing with Finn and Seth Rollins. Seth signs the contract. and says Finn has zero chance of walking out of SummerSlam as world champion. And even if you do win, Finn, Damian Priest is going to cash in on you, and the Judgment Day will end. And then Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley come out, and they surround the ring. Seth decides to attack first and hits Finn, and then Priest hits Seth with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but Sami Zayn came out with a chair, hit Priest and Dominic, but then Finn jumped Sami. Priest hit his finisher on Sami, and they rolled him out of the ring and piled furniture on top of him, like chairs and stuff for the contract signing. And then
Necessary.
What?
We need to pile stuff on Sami and take him out. Like,
keep him down.
Moves don't work. Just bury him and stuff.
Bury him to make sure he doesn't move. And then Judgment Day took out Seth, and they hit him with the coup de grace, and then they posed over Seth. And I noticed when they were posing, Rhea has a belt, Dominic has a belt, Priest has Money in the Bank, Finn has nothing. But he's got a title match coming up. Could he maybe win? Why are they doing this again? They're doing it at SummerSlam, right? They did it last pay-per-view. They're doing it again at SummerSlam. Is this just for Seth to win again?
Yeah. They always do this. They do this, like, 3 trilogy match thing all the time. Like, they always do this. This one, though, got stretched way too much, though. Like, there's not much on the whole Finn versus Seth rivalry that they haven't already done. The only thing is the fact that, it's going to be at SummerSlam. That's where they had their last big title match so many years ago. That's the only thing. But the match has been overdone recently way too much. We don't need to see it again, but they have nothing else, so that's what you get. And it's only, one of like 7, 8 main events for getting at SummerSlam, so it's not the big match.
There's so much Judgment Day on Raw, though. It wouldn't surprise me to see Finn take the belt, and then they do some sort of story where, is Priest going to cash in on Finn, or is he not, or is he just holding the briefcase as like an insurance policy for Finn Balor? We've never seen the Money in the Bank case used like that. Like, don't mess with Finn Balor. Even if you do beat Finn, I'll be here to cash it in, and then I'll bring the world title back to the Judgment Day. Kind of like an enforcer with the Money in the Bank. Enforcer with a title shot against all challengers to Finn and the world title.
Right. Interesting story, but I don't think they're done with Seth yet, though, because they kind of mentioned it, too. Like, Seth is the main guy of the show. So I don't think that run's done yet. They're going to keep going with this.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that. It doesn't feel that fresh. It doesn't feel that new. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of momentum, though. Like that's my thing with the Seth Rollins title run. It's that, like, I get it. He's Seth Rollins. He's a big star and everything. But this world title run doesn't feel that exciting. I don't know if he's got the fans that hot. I don't know if the ratings are on fire for Raw. It doesn't seem that it's that over at this point. And maybe if you gave it to somebody else, it would be more interesting.
I think the way they probably would look at it is like, it's not Seth's fault, it's Finn's fault that he's not over enough. So they have to give Seth a better opponent. Then people would care more.
Yeah. Who is that opponent? Cody? Dominic?
Cody would be fantastic, yeah. I'd rather not Dominic, but they seem to just force-fed Judgment Day down our throats so much. It might happen eventually. But Cody, I think that needs to happen, I think.
They did 3 matches over 3 pay-per-views.
Right.
People
like them.
I'm not itching to revisit it, though.
I'm not saying 3 more times, or just 1 more time. That's it.
Cody won every match, too. I don't know.
He did win. That's why Seth has to get his win back. A win back.
Yeah, but that really sucks then, because Cody will get a title shot and lose again. And the more title shots he loses, the less you believe in him. And the less you believe in him, the less over he becomes. it's risky. You either put Cody in a match where he's going to win and then you make Cody the new world champion, which is fine. I think that's reasonable. But if he loses, I think that's really rough. Unless the whole idea was to take him away from AEW, to have him lose to Cody and to Roman and Seth, and then send him on his way. Which is not a bad move if you're WWE. Take one of their top stars, have them lose to your top stars, and make some money off of them, and then send them packing.
A little worried. I think they might drag this all the way to WrestleMania, Cody and Seth. I can see that happening.
Well, we'll see. I don't know when they're going to revisit Cody and Seth, but you would figure that at some point, especially if Cody beats Brock at SummerSlam here, and if Seth beats Finn at SummerSlam, that Cody would be next up for Seth. Especially when you look at the landscape of Raw, who else?
Yeah, Damian Priest probably, something like that. Dominic,
he's got money in the bank, Damian Priest. Like, either you cash in or don't. Like, it's hard to feud with Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like, to directly feud with him, you would have to say, well, I'm going to cash this in at the next pay-per-view, and it's a match, you know? Otherwise, it's hard to just be like, I'm your main opponent, but I'm not cashing in my briefcase. Like, how do you give Damian Priest a world title shot at the next pay-per-view, but he also holds the briefcase? You know, like, it's kind of dumb.
It's dumb, but I feel like it's been done in the past, though.
I don't know. You might be right, but I don't remember when. Anyways, that's, what's going on Raw. A lot of Judgment Day, a lot of posing, a lot of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And Dirty Dom! Over on SmackDown, of course, it's the Jey Uso Roman Reigns show. We saw Jey Uso tonight cut an in-ring promo with Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Solo Sikoa. Roman telling Jey that the fans only like the Usos because of him, because of Roman. Roman says he made Jey the right-hand man, and he made him main event Jey Uso. Jey telling Roman that he believed in him, and he supported him because he believed in him as the leader of the company and the family. But he broke the family, and now he's got to do what he's got to do. Tribal rules at SummerSlam. And Roman says that Jey will not win, and even if he does, maybe he'll become the new tribal chief, but that's fine by Roman because Roman will still be Roman Reigns. He'll still be himself, and Jey will always just be little Jey. And Jey says that he already beat Roman, and he's going to beat him again at SummerSlam. It was a tag team match when he beat Roman.
Still, it's a pinfall victory over him.
Yep.
I mean, you can take what you can get against Roman, I think.
Yep. And he got a pinfall victory in the main event because Grayson Waller said some rude things to Jey Uso, which Jey Uso didn't like, and he punched Waller, and then Adam Pearce made a match for the main event. Which, again, makes you wonder, like, if Grayson Waller isn't a dick and gets in Jey Uso's face to make a match, what did Adam Pearce have planned for the main event of SmackDown tonight? You know what I mean?
Nothing, it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Just dead air.
Main event we got was, like, not much of anything either, so I was very disappointed. Besides the opening promo, SmackDown was very disappointing.
Yeah. Jey beats Grayson Waller after the spear and a top rope splash. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman were watching the match from ringside. But they didn't interfere. They just watched as Jey hit the Roman spear and the splash for the win. Solo did attack Jey after the match, but Jey fought him off. Roman got in the ring, but ate a spear himself from Jey Uso. Jey then went to the top rope to finish him off with the splash, but Solo pushed his older brother off the top rope and then hit him with a rock bottom. And then Solo grabbed Jey, and Roman hit the ropes, and Roman hit a spear while Solo hit a Samoan spike simultaneously, double finishers on Jey. It was a pretty cool finish. Pretty nice tag team finish. And then Roman yelled at Jey a little bit more, and they hit that finish again to close out SmackDown. I guess they just had time, so they figured, let's do it again.
Yeah,
Cool
probably.
finisher, though. It's pretty cool the way they set it up and the little, like, stuff that they were saying before they did it. I liked it.
I mean, if you take 2 spikes like that, you should be injured. But again, people are invincible these days, so whatever.
Like, Jimmy Uso got beat up, and we haven't seen him in, like, 3 weeks. Jey Uso took a vicious beating tonight, but he's supposed to wrestle Roman next week at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Also, wasn't there not supposed to be any like contact between Roman and Jay? Wasn't that the whole point of the whole thing last week?
Tribal rules. Yeah, I don't know. I thought so.
Yeah, I don't get last week. Now, why did he stop Solo from hitting Jay? Like, that doesn't make sense now.
Nope. They didn't really address it either this week.
No, but again, like I like the beginning promo, it was good. Everything else, SmackDown, not so great.
Yeah.
But
why did Roman? Why did he stop him from hitting? Because he stopped Solo from doing the spike on Jay last week, and then Solo ate a super kick. But this week, Solo just attacks Jay after the match, and Roman was like down with the program, even joined in on the fun. What was that last week?
I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense now. Maybe it was like, because this is the only way they could possibly explain it, is when you make the announcement, at that point in time, you can't have any like contact with each other.
It was like a 24-hour truce or something.
I mean, it's just ways of trying to make it make sense, like,
yeah.
I'm sure they'd come up with something like that.
Man, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Like, what is that? Why did he stop him last week?
It doesn't work, but whatever.
That's what happened. That's what happens, whatever. I mean, you want to talk stupid.
SummerSlam should be good.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to have a real stupid match called the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. It's like Baby Billy's Baba Bonkers, which you don't, Baby Billy's Baba Bonkers. SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. You got to fund it, Eli. All right. What the hell is that? LA Knight. Yeah. He's going to get in that match. LA Knight finally booked like a babyface tonight. He wrestled a guy from Hit Row, Ashante the Adonis, and beat him in pretty much a squash match. And I finally understood why people compare LA Knight to The Rock and Stone Cold, because he does a people's elbow followed by a stunner for his finish. So, yeah, I got
Well, the way he talks, too, I mean, it's very Rock-like.
Yeah, but did you see the way he finished the match? He had a people's elbow and then a stunner.
Well, more of an RKO, but...
Yeah, but he does the kick and then a cutter, but it's like a stunner, and then he does like a variation of a people's elbow to set that up.
Which was actually done by Grayson Waller in the main event. I love the cosplay involved. A lot of Raw and SmackDown.
Is The Rock coming back or something? What is all this?
Yeah, you hope so.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end SummerSlam, by the way. They do that.
Yes. Hell yeah. LA Knight beat Ashante the Adonis. This made sense to me. It's finally like, here's LA Knight, not booked as a heel, booked as a babyface against a clear heel, and the fans like him.
But later on.
But then he does that backstage promo with Sheamus about the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal, and he picks a fight with Sheamus, and now Sheamus is going to wrestle LA Knight on SmackDown next week, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because Sheamus is a babyface too. But if you'll notice, it's very hard to find heel opponents on SmackDown because there are no heels on SmackDown.
Well, there are, just very few. Like, I get your point.
There's Karrion Kross. There's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
male heels, male heels, even.
Right. Top heels, yeah, it's tough. I mean, there are heels, just not
singles
a lot of top
wrestler heels. They have to find a guy from a tag team who's never even on the show to get a guy to lose to LA Knight tonight. But like as far as heels on the show, there's no heels on SmackDown. There's one heel. There's Roman Reigns. Everybody else is a babyface. Usos are babyfaces. Look at the show tonight. Santos Escobar wrestled Rey Mysterio. They're in the same babyface group, and they're wrestling each other in the finals of a tournament. Austin Theory's a heel. I'll give you one. There's one. Grayson Waller is a heel. There's another one, right? They're trying to make some heels, but they have very few of them. Very few heels on SmackDown. It's a very babyface-heavy show. Santos Escobar beat Rey Mysterio, by the way. They did, like, Ray did a dive, or no, Santos did a dive on Ray during the commercial break, and Ray came up injured, but not really, so they did a doctor stoppage finish. Super lazy finish for, like, a tournament that's been running over the course of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not good.
What I hate, too, is, like, you know, to put the fear that Ray can get hurt, because Ray's been hurt before in the past like that, so to sell that Ray's hurt again or something like that, like, it's not a great feeling to have that. Thankfully, apparently it's not true that Ray's hurt, like, it's just an angle kind of thing, but...
Yeah, but to get out of the match that way, you know what I mean? That's your finish? It's a pretty weak finish.
Oh, it's not great. I agree. It's not
for
not
a tournament,
way, especially
for a tournament final.
That's bad. It's bad. I won't take that away from you, but I think it's worse for the live crowd because they sat through the commercial break where there was absolutely no action. They're just nothing's happening. They're just down and out, and we had to wait until we came back from commercials to announce that the match is over. So you waited for the commercial break, no action, and then you got just the announcement. I would have been pissed if I was one of the people in the crowd right there.
Yeah. It was a really bad finish. And now Santos Escobar won a U.S. title shot that he will get on SmackDown in 2 weeks.
After SummerSlam. It's weird.
Why not at SummerSlam or the night before SummerSlam?
Well, there's going to be like 4 women's matches, I think, on SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I guess there's probably going to be 4 men's championship matches, or maybe even 5 or 6 men's matches. So,
well, it's currently an 8-match card. Cody versus Brock. Mm-hmm. Seth versus Finn. Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca. Roman versus Jey Uso. Ricochet, Logan Paul. Gunther, Drew McIntyre. Ronda versus Shayna. And the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal. But also I would expect Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley to be the 9th match on that card. And you said 3 or 4 women's matches? I only see 3 with Rhea being added, probably Ronda versus Shayna, and then Asuka versus Charlotte and Bianca.
You didn't say Becky versus Trish.
Trish.
That's official.
That is official. I just don't have it on my card here for some reason. But yeah, that's official too. Okay, so 4 women's matches probably. Unless they do, like, they don't want to overdo SummerSlam and they don't have Rhea Ripley defend at SummerSlam. They do it on Raw instead. I'd put her at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley's a big star.
Yeah, but that's 10 matches then if that happens, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of matches. That's
going to be like a 4 or 5 hour pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. It's going to start at 8. Yep.
Oof.
This is why you need to have matches on the pre-show instead of this hour of like nothing happening. They need to actually put the pre-show matches back again.
Yep. I agree. Those pre-shows are useless. Bianca Belair was interviewed backstage about her upcoming triple threat match at SummerSlam, and then Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville showed up and say they deserve a championship celebration, and they don't know why the women's division has all their attention on Bianca or Charlotte Flair when it should be them, and then Charlotte shows up and wants a tag team match with Bianca against Chelsea and Sonya. Bianca doesn't want to do it, but Charlotte says, well, I'm going to talk to Adam Pearce and we'll get it done. Shows who has the real power in WWE. Because the match gets made, right?
Magic.
Bianca's like, I don't want to do this. Charlotte's like, too bad. I run the show here. I'm telling Adam Pearce to do it. And then they did it. And Bianca had Chelsea set up with the KOD, and Charlotte tagged herself in, hit a big boot on Chelsea, then argued with Bianca for a good 30 seconds to a minute before deciding to pin Chelsea, who was down from a big boot, not a finisher of any kind, a big boot, and waited forever for Charlotte to pin her 1, 2, 3. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville not looking too strong as the new tag team champions there. I mean, that was... I felt bad for Chelsea Green. I was like, when Charlotte pinned her, I was like, really? You're going to win off that? That was it. She just won. I was like, surely Charlotte and Bianca will argue to the point where one of them actually loses to the new tag team champions, because they're not going to have the new tag team champions just get bullied and beaten. But that's what happened. Like, didn't even
correct,
take but didn't even take a finisher. You know what I mean? Like, hit the KOD, and then Charlotte can tag herself in, and then they could argue, and then Charlotte can pin her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but she didn't hit the KOD. She hit the big boot. Yeah. Big boot.
Because Charlotte has to hit it.
But it's not her finisher. It's not natural selection. It's not the figure eight. Big boot is not Charlotte's finisher. She's not Sheamus. It's not a brogue kick.
Fine, but it's still, she hit the finishing move of the match. She had to do that. Didn't need to be her finishing move that she hits all the time, because, it was a lower match for her. It wasn't like a tough match.
But why did Charlotte have to be the one to hit the move?
Because she's the star of the match.
But isn't it enough to get the pin?
No, I gotta hit the finishing move too as well. Sure, that was in the whole script.
But you have to sacrifice Chelsea Green for that too?
I mean, I'm not surprised by this. How many times throughout the years have they sacrificed the women's tag team champions for their top stars? They've sacrificed the tag team champions in the men's division the same way. So, not surprised by this whatsoever.
Yep. Io Sky backstage with Bayley, wondering why Bayley left last week when there was a creepy Shotzi thing, and Bayley's like, oh, it's just Shotzi messing with me, and then she opens her bag, and there's a collage that Shotzi has made for Bayley with like clips of her hair. Yeah, she's like scaring Bayley. It's really dumb. But then Asuka showed up, and she's like, hey, if you cash in at SummerSlam, you're going to regret it. And they said some things in Japanese to each other. And then Io says,
a lot of stupid stuff.
Wow, you don't know what they're saying in Japanese. You don't speak Japanese.
No, but it was more of the weird dancing for whatever reason.
That Asuka
and then,
does.
you better not cash. Yeah,
that's what she does, though. That's Asuka. It's her personality.
You don't have to weird dance while you're having this conversation. Like, to me, this just felt like Seth Franklin was, like, possessing her almost, it felt like.
Well, whatever. It's what their champions do, John. And then Io's like, I respect you, Asuka, but it doesn't matter who wins at SummerSlam because I'm going to be walking out new women's champion. Do you believe her? I do.
If Io's going to walk out new champion? I can see that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because
will it be at
SummerSlam? I don't know. I think it will be. Because I think, Priest and Io, they're both holding money in the banks. They usually like to have one person hold it for a little while and one person cash in pretty soon. I think Io's going to cash in at SummerSlam. Makes sense.
Okay.
Because everybody's been, Asuka was champion. She kind of cheated Bianca out of the belt, right? And then Bianca lined herself up for a title shot. But then Charlotte kind of inserted herself into the thing. They're all kind of chasing the title shot. And if Io swoops in and she steals it, then they can all keep chasing Io and keep it going. I think it'd be all right.
Yeah. I think they might give it to Charlotte, and then Io might steal it from Charlotte, but whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Yes, I think Charlotte will win the match, and then Io will cash in on Charlotte and beat her afterwards.
Yeah,
I think Charlotte
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Charlotte's going to get a official title reign out of it, even though it'll last like 5 minutes. Yeah, and that's basically what happened on SmackDown tonight. I don't think anything else happened. Karrion Kross beat Carl Anderson and then attacked Anderson after the match, and AJ Styles and Michin made the save, but really, who cares? It's a waste of AJ Styles at this point with the corniest duo in all of pro wrestling, Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Every time they come out and do their entrance, I roll my eyes. Ridiculous.
Well, he squashed him already. I don't get why we have to keep going with this. You already beat him in the big match at Madison Square Garden. So, move on.
I don't know. Karrion
I don't
Kross
get it.
won't move on, and WWE has decided to keep it going. And Bobby Lashley does seem to be setting up a group, right? We saw him backstage with the Street Profits. He bought them suits. He didn't like Dawkins' sweats, so he gave him some suits, and they have some sort of group going on. I don't know what it is, but Bobby Lashley seems to be mentoring the Street Profits now. Something's happening.
That's it. I don't feel like this is going to get fleshed out until maybe after SummerSlam, though.
Yep. But I like it, though, kind of not overdoing it, not giving you too much right away, just kind of giving you little snippets here and there, make you wonder, like, what's going on. And over time, like, it'll become something. Or it won't. But I don't mind it so far. I think it makes sense. A little bit of a change for the Street Profits. A little bit of a different role for Bobby Lashley. I think it works. He's kind of the MVP of this group.
Well, I think they're building this up for Roman, right? Roman's next challenge. But is this going to be... I don't think they should do it right away. It's got to be a little bit down the road, like maybe a couple months from now. After Survivor Series, possibly. Or Survivor Series, whatever. But give it some time to breathe a little bit. Like, I worry that they'll throw them against Roman right away. And it's like, well, it's going to kill it too quickly. Let them grow a bit, before you destroy them.
Yeah, Bobby against Roman makes sense. I don't know who else on SmackDown is a challenger to Roman once he's done with the Jey Uso thing. Maybe Jimmy? Jimmy's going to want revenge too. Especially if Roman beats Jey. Don't you think Jimmy will come back and want his match with Roman? And then once Roman beats Jimmy, match. Jey will come back and want his revenge, and we'll be in an endless circle of Usos versus Roman.
I think after SummerSlam, Roman's taking a bit of a break. So, in that time, that's where you build up Bobby, I think.
Oof, a break? Hope it's not too long.
Roman,
Because without Roman, that show is kind of rough, man.
I know. It's a down period. I know.
I hope he doesn't take too long of a break, Roman. Come on. Come on. Nothing happens on SmackDown without Roman Reigns. Coming up on Raw, we're going to have Maxine versus Valhalla in what should be Johnny's favorite match of the week. Who knows what that'll be?
To be fair, it might not be that bad because I don't mind the whole Maxine, like, she's trying to learn how to wrestle. She actually plays that well.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it too much, just as long as it doesn't get too ridiculous. Like, the comedy is where it goes too much. They go too far with the comedy, but the last match they had, the Raiders against the Alpha Academy in the Viking Rules match, that was fine. But I thought we were getting the Alpha Rules match, no? Or
maybe eventually. They talked about some sort of Alpha Rules match, but then Maxine's like, no, I want one-on-one with Valhalla. I don't know. I think they're building towards a 6-person tag at some point.
Okay, all right. Fine.
You would think.
Whenever.
But yeah, I love the Alpha Academy. I think they're great. Anything they do is good. Logan Paul will be back on Raw Monday night. Brock Lesnar will be on Raw Monday night. So it's the final Raw, gearing up for SummerSlam. It's going to be a big one. All the big stars will be out getting ready for SummerSlam. And we will be back here next Friday night to do the full SummerSlam preview. And we'll be on after SummerSlam to recap all the action, as we are after every WWE premium live event, every AEW pay-per-view. You can join us here on the Ringside Report Network right after the show to break it all down, give you our review, rating on 10 for the pay-per-view, match of the night, and all that good stuff. You tell us your thoughts. We tell you ours. And we have a free exchange of ideas about professional wrestling here on the Ringside Report Network. And we'll be doing that next Saturday night right after SummerSlam. Next Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, right after SmackDown. We'll have another Wrestling Uncensored like we just did here. And we'll preview SummerSlam. And don't forget, tomorrow night, I'll be back here 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the UFC 291 pay-per-view. Looks like a great pay-per-view, even though we lost the Wonderboy Thompson-Michelle Pereira fight today. Pereira came in way overweight, and they decided not to take the fight. So that fight not happening. Derek Lewis versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima promoted from the prelims to the main card. So still nothing but banger after banger after banger for UFC 291, as Big Shamey would say. So yeah, UFC 291 looks great, and we'll be watching the fights tomorrow night with you, live watch along, 10 p.m. Eastern time when the pay-per-view starts. That's when the show starts. AJ will be with me. Fred will be there, and we'll be doing the show.
Returns.
Fred, the return of Fred, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern when the pay-per-view starts here on the Ringside Report Network. Johnny, do you have a match you want to promote? Anything you want to plug before we go?
Well, I just had to show that got pushed from September to November, so
whoa,
nothing yet. So, but eventually the match will happen in Renfrew, Ontario.
All right,
but it's in November 4th now, so have to wait for that one.
All right. Well, Johnny will be gone till November from the ring, but then he'll come back like Wyclef and do it big.
Not from the podcast. I'll still be here though. Don't worry.
Yeah. Do you get that reference? You know that song, Gone Till November? You remember that one?
I don't know that Wyclef song, though.
No?
Sorry.
That was a classic Wyclef. Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. No? Nothing?
I remember his song with The Rock.
Because I'll be gone till November. Tremendous Gone Till November. Wyclef? You don't beat that shit. The Carnival? What a good album. Wyclef. That was prime Wyclef. All right. I'll be gone till tomorrow because I'll be doing the show for the UFC 291. Yeah, a little while. Oh, shit.
You have to realize, it's a storm, delay. Things are not going to go well. Your first place team against the last place team, it's not always going to work out too well. If anything, it would have been better to delay the game. But I guess they did not delay the game till tomorrow. A doubleheader tomorrow would have been a better idea. Probably would have got a win off that one.
Yankees lose again. Just as we're wrapping up the show, motherfucking Orioles hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth to win the game 1-0. It was a 0-0 game. Garrett Cole pitched a great one, but they couldn't hit again because the Yankees can't hit for shit. And
terrible weather.
Santander just hit a fucking solo homer in the bottom of the ninth to win the game for the Orioles off Tommy Kahnle, motherfucker. Fucking Yankees can't win shit. It's fucking over.
Yeah, but weather delays, it's always rough to play in weather delays.
Whatever. It's a weather delay for Baltimore, too. I mean, both teams had to deal with it, and one team won, and the other team was the Yankees. Fuck.
Yeah, but if you look at the wild card, I think they're only 3.5 games out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, but you got to win games to fucking gain ground. You know what I mean? They got to win. They're not winning. They fucking just lost again. Fucking fuck, man.
But you gotta stop playing the first place teams. That's a problem.
Fuck the Baltimore Orioles. They shouldn't be a first place team. It doesn't make sense. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Again, there's always tomorrow. I think it's an earlier start tomorrow, so maybe that'll help them out.
So I'll be fucking disappointed earlier in the day. Today I had to wait fucking hours and hours for the game to start. It's supposed to be a 7 o'clock start. First pitch was at 9:35 because of a weather delay. I'm sitting here watching the game on fucking pins and needles the whole time. It's fucking 0-0. I'm thinking, hey, maybe. Nope. Bottom of the ninth. Fucking ruined my night. Fuck you, Baltimore Orioles. Eat shit. And here's the fucking right after the fucking Yankees lose, here's the Red Sox game that they're showing me, and the Red Sox are winning. Great. Cool. Fuck. Red Sox up 3-1 on the Giants in the 8th. And guess who the Yankees are chasing for that other wild card spot? Fucking Red Sox right in front of them, like a game ahead of them.
Well, the Jays have the spot right now. But
the Jays have the spot. The Jays have the spot. Red Sox are 2 games back. Yankees are 3. But the Jays have the last wild card spot. Tampa, Houston, and Toronto have wild card spots. Baltimore, Texas, and Minnesota are leading their respective divisions.
I mean, it's not over yet. We're only July still, so it's
By
not
the
over.
way, Yankees still have a better record than the first place team in the AL Central.
I'm aware.
The Twins are leading the AL Central, 54 wins, 50 losses. Yankees, 54 wins, 48 losses. So the Yankees still have a better record, technically. Last place in the AL East is still good enough for first place in the AL Central, which is fucked. But you know what? I wouldn't want this team in the playoffs because they'd fucking lose anyway, so who cares? Because they can't hit. If you can't beat the Orioles, what's the point? Aaron Judge came back tonight. He's been gone since like early June. He's finally back.
There you go.
Not injured
Positives.
anymore. I think he walked a couple times. I think he maybe singled. Nothing big. No homers yet. Hopefully they'll come.
Well, next time, because you started the season saying you had a special feeling about this team, maybe
I
next
still
time we'll
do.
have feelings about this team.
I have
You
so
still
many
do.
special feelings about them. I mean, they're fucking good, man. They're on paper. It's just that like half the team got super old about 2 months, 3 months into the season. Half the team got no longer useful. Josh Donaldson, Anthony Rizzo, DJ LeMahieu, Giancarlo Stanton all became pretty well useless. And seems like they've aged out of baseball.
Glaber's getting traded, apparently. I see the rumors about that.
I mean, honestly, I hope he's getting traded for prospects and not anything to try and win this year, because fuck it. If you're going to trade Glaber, trade him for something that'll make you win in 2 or 3 years, because this team is not winning this year. And by the looks of it, they're not winning next year either. I thought Rodon would be way better than he is. Carlos Rodon has been a major disappointment. They paid him fucking ridiculous money to bring him to New York in the offseason. He's pitched like 4 times this year. He's been hurt half the season, and of those 4 starts, like one of them has been good. He's got 1 win this season. He's the highest paid 1-win pitcher in baseball, probably. Fucking trash. Rodon. I mean, he's shown signs of goodness. I wouldn't say greatness. He's shown signs that he could be good, but he's no Garrett Cole. He's no fucking CC Sabathia. He's no Andy Pettit. That's for sure. He's not a real fucking Yankee. Clay Holmes ain't no Mariano Rivera either. God damn it. Wish he was. Fucking pathetic. Fucking pathetic.
August might be a different month, though. We just got to wait and see.
The thing is, even if they get hot, I don't trust them in the playoffs. I don't trust them to be able to win against these really good teams because their bats go quiet, and when they go quiet, it's dead. Dead silence.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, that's not good.
Unless they can add a spark bat at the before the trade deadline, which doesn't look like is happening. It doesn't seem like they've got what it takes this year. I'd love to be wrong. Fucking believe me, I would love to be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Not about wrestling, but baseball, I'm often wrong. So I said the Yankees would finish in first place this year. Wrong about that.
Yeah, but it's gonna be special, because your kids have never seen the Yankees go to a World Series, so it's gonna be special, to watch that with them. That's gonna be a huge moment
when they get there.
Yeah,
if they get there. But quite frankly, the Yankees seem to be turning into a franchise that is content with living off past glories, selling the history to the fans, and staying just competitive enough to give the fans hope, but not necessarily win. Reminds you of anybody, John?
You're talking about the Canadians a little bit, but okay.
Whoops.
Sure.
I mean, they're becoming the Canadians, which is pathetic. You don't want to become the Canadians because those motherfuckers haven't won a world championship in 30 years. If the Yankees go 30-year drought for the goddamn World Series, there'll be riots in the Bronx. I would hope. Be fucking lighting Hal Steinbrenner on fire. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. You know, like, people be mad. So, they need to win.
Well,
they can't just fucking make money and treat the Yankees as a business. The Yankees are a team that needs to win. The Canadians can be treated like a business that doesn't really have to win, and they can pretend to the fans like they're trying, but really everybody knows the deal. I mean, the fans don't know the deal, but people that know the deal. But the Yankees can't become that. That's sad. It's pathetic. I don't like that. And you know what the deal is with the Canadians, too, John. Come on. Don't play around like you don't know what's going on. They're losers. If you don't win for 30 years and you make the Cup Finals, once in 30 years? That's a losing franchise.
Yeah. Hockey's tough. Baseball's tough. They're all tough sports.
Yeah, but the Yankees win more often, because they care. They want to win.
And
George Steinbrenner wanted to win. You have to have an owner that wants to win.
The Steinberg's bad. This one, okay.
The new Steinbrenner, not his father. Hal Steinbrenner, I don't think he wants to win as bad as his dad did. Hal Steinbrenner, a couple of months ago, when the Yankees were starting to tank the season's like, I don't know why everybody's mad. It's still mid-June. It's all right. Shut up, Hal. What do you mean you don't know why everybody's mad? Because they fucking suck. They lose all the games. They can't hit. The fuck do you mean with why everybody's mad? Your father would be so pissed. He'd be leading the fucking rage parade, firing the coach mid-season. Are you kidding me? This fucking Steinbrenner goes, I don't know why everybody's mad. His dad would have fucking lost his mind. If his dad was alive and heard him running the team saying that shit, he would have slapped him across the face. Ridiculous. I don't know why everybody's mad. You're a Steinbrenner. You don't know why people are mad that the Yankees are losing? Are you fucking crazy, man?
I'm glad you vet this all now, so AJ doesn't suffer tomorrow.
Yeah. Who owns the Canadians?
It's the Molson Group.
They ever won?
Well, under the new management right now,
yeah.
No, because they were Molson, then they got sold, and they got sold back to Molson.
Yeah, they don't want to win. They're not winning shit.
Well, no, it's a rebuilding phase right now. The Yankees should, maybe go through a rebuilding phase a bit.
There's no rebuild. There's no rebuild. Why do you rebuild? Why rebuild? You buy what you need and you fucking take what you got from the farm system and you move on. No, you can do it.
They've done it in the past, but it's not working anymore. You got to build now instead. Can't just buy your way to a World Series. It's worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore. Got to build.
Then sell Glaber for parts. Get Clark Schmidt and Glaber Torres out of there. Get some fucking prospects. So maybe in a couple years, it could be fucking Volpe and Peraza and fucking the Martian, We got a guy in Double-A called the Martian. Get ready.
Okay.
Dominguez is coming. Jason Dominguez. He's coming, baby.
Need some raspberry or some strawberries would be nice.
What?
Remember, Dale Strawberry was a really good Yankee at one point.
Yeah, he's all right. Jason Dominguez is going to be a beast. The Martian. All right, that's it. That's enough Yankee talk for tonight. This show's gone overtime, and I'm done. I'm too angry about the Yankees. You're making me mad, causing all sorts of ruckus. All right, I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the UFC 291 watch-along right here on the Ringside Report Network. Don't leave yet, folks. Please listen to this short message on behalf of Dave, Johnny, Fred, and AJ, and the Ringside Report Network.
Thank you all for joining us today for this live broadcast. But before we wrap up, we have an exciting opportunity for you, our loyal viewers. If you're a true fan of the ringside and octagon action and want to stay at the forefront of all things wrestling and MMA, then becoming a member of the Ringside Report Network is an absolute must. By signing up, you'll gain exclusive access to the best coverage, in-depth analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and much more. You will also get priority access to call into our shows, including live UFC watch-alongs and pro wrestling pay-per-view post-shows. So hit that subscribe button, become a member, and never miss out on any of the heart-pounding moments again. Together, we'll journey into the world of sports entertainment like never before. The easiest way to become a member for only $5 per month is to sign up at membership.ringsidereport.net. Or if you prefer a YouTube channel membership, head to join.ringsidereport.net. If you enjoyed today's broadcast, please spread the word and tell your friends and share this episode. Thank you once again for joining us, and we can't wait to welcome you as part of our Ringside Report Network family. Until next time, stay passionate, stay connected, and keep enjoying the thrill of wrestling and MMA.